Hello and welcome again to the second week of multimedia training for teachers, integrating multimedia in teaching basic science and mathematics. In this week 2, there will be 3 units to help you get clear pictures of pre-production stage for multimedia enhanced lessons development in teaching basic science and mathematics. In this week, your understanding and skills in planning learner-centered lessons in basic science and mathematics would be enhanced. This is to prepare you towards multimedia enhanced lessons development in teaching basic science and mathematics. In this Unit 1 of this week, we discussed on planning learner-centered lessons for teaching basic science and mathematics. Learner-centered lesson is a type of instructional design that puts the learners at the center of the learning process. Learner-centered lesson is a kind of teaching approach that lay emphasis on active roles of the learners in the process of constructing and reconstructing their own learning. It is the method of teaching that shifts the focus of activity from teacher to the learners. The learners take ownership of the content, determine how it will be useful or relevant to them, and build cognitive connections to allow learning to be meaningful. Component of learner-centered lesson. Learner-centered lesson involves the following components. Authenticity. The lesson is relevant and meaningful to the learner's interests, needs, and goals. It connects to real-world situations and challenges the learner to apply their knowledge and skills to solve their daily life problems. Personalization. The lesson is tailored to the learner's preferences, strengths, and challenges. It allows the learners to choose their own learning path, pace, and strategies. It also provides opportunities for self-assessment and reflection. Competency. The lesson is focused on developing the learner's skills, knowledge, values, attitudes, and abilities, not just covering content. It uses clear and measurable learning outcomes and criteria for success. It also provides feedback and support to help the learner improve their academic performance. Inclusion. The lesson is respectful and responsive to the learner's diversity, background, and identity. It creates a safe and supportive learning environment that fosters collaboration and communication. It also promotes equity and social justice. Learner-centered lesson can be designed using various strategies such as active learning. Learner engages in activities that require them to think critically, creatively, and analytically. They also interact with other learners and their teachers to share ideas and understanding. Problem-based learning. The learner works on solving a complex and authentic task that requires using their prior knowledge and discover new information. They also present and justify their solutions and receive feedback from others. Project-based learning. Learners work on creating a product or a performance that demonstrates their understanding and application of the learned concepts. They also reflect on their learning process and outcomes and receive feedback from others. Flipped classroom. Learners access the contents and materials before the class session, such as watching videos, reading texts, or completing quizzes, and then use the class time to engage in active learning activities such as discussions, simulations, or experiments. To plan a learner-centered lesson, You should begin by identifying what you want your learners to learn and how you will assess their learning progress. You should then create engaging and meaningful learning objectives that are measurable and focused on learners' learning outcomes. Remember, the art of lesson planning is a creative process that can take many forms. The most important thing is to keep your learners' needs and interests at the forefront of your planning process and to create engaging and meaningful learning experiences that help them achieve their learning goals. As we all know that lesson plan is a document that outlines what the teacher will teach in a given lesson, why you are teaching it, and how you will assess your students' learning. A well-written lesson plan can help you organize your teaching, guide your instruction, and enhance your students' engagement and achievement. Teachers should ask themselves several questions before creating their lesson plan, including: what are the objectives for the lesson? What content needs to be covered? What do the learners already know? And what materials might be needed to teach the lesson? Teachers should also be able to explain why this material is important and how it fits into the overall goals of the learning. Here are some tips to help you design effective learner-centered lessons. 1. Start with a clear learning objective that specifies what learners should be able to do or understand by the end of the lesson. This will help you align the lesson activities, assessments, and feedback with the desired learning outcomes. 2. Choose relevant and engaging tasks or questions that spark learners' curiosity and motivates them to explore the topic. The problem should be challenging but not too difficult, and it should allow for multiple strategies and methods to solutions. 3. Provide learners with opportunities to work collaboratively with their peers, share their ideas, and receive feedback. This will help them develop their communication, reasoning, and social skills, as well as learn from different perspectives and approaches. 4. Use a variety of tools and resources to support learners' learning, such as manipulative models, diagrams, graphs, tables, calculators, computers, etc. These can help learners visualize, represent, and manipulate mathematical and scientific concepts and phenomena. 5. Scaffold students' learning by providing hints, prompts, questions, examples, and explanations as needed. This will help them overcome difficulties, deepen their understanding, and make connections between prior and new knowledge. 6. Assess learners' learning by using formative and summative methods such as observations, discussions, quizzes, tests, projects, portfolios, etc. This will help you monitor learners' progress, identify their strengths and weaknesses, and also provide feedback and guidance for improvement.